All right, guys, let's look at the 2024 draft now that we're getting close to these guys being a full 2 regular seasons in the league now. There is a sponsor, and we're going to go in order in the beginning, but some of these are going to be quicker than others. Eventually, we'll jump around. So right on cue, Reese Shea, he's just a guy. If his jumper doesn't go to a whole new level, then I don't even know. Okay, now we give more airtime to Alex Sarr. So the big thing with Sarr this season is his improvement from everything 2-point range. More shots at the basket, more drives, more physicality, less threes, while still being a bit better from 3 this season. I think at the end of last season, you could see the framework of how Alex Sarr was this new age big guy who could maybe one day be a shooter, but he was like 31% last year. He was pushing the ball off of rebounds, but he only shot 41% on layups last year, according to Basketball Reference. This year, that's up to 54%. When I just watch it, he's screening with way more intention to cut to the basket, attacking off the catch immediately, some more contact on his screens, and then just looking at some of the baskets he's had, like I've seen him have physical drives against like Jared Allen, Miles Turner, Kalkbrenner, Porzingis, Jay Huff, like a lot of these drives starting from the 3-point line. Sure, he still has progress to go on this stuff, but the jump that he's made in 1 year, like it really is everything you could have asked for from him out of one off season of improvement. And then defensively, it's not just that Alex Sarr can switch, it's how seamlessly he does it. Like he does it without any hesitation, nothing feels weird about it. As far as transition defense, like he can be matched up on anybody and it's not a problem. Sure, the Wizards as a whole team are not equipped to be a good defense yet, and obviously we're going to see him and Anthony Davis together for some amount of games next season, and I think those two can really make sense. And of course, Sarr, I mean, the ground he covers where like he can be doubling somebody on the wing and then get back to the paint to cover for like a cutter, or he can be like high up on a screen and then drop back fast enough to protect the basket on like a rolling big guy. I mean, opponents shoot 55% at the rim against him, which is a little worse than Gobert, but it's in the same ballpark of the elite rim protectors, right? So basically, huge year 2 for Sarr. I know he's hurt right now. I don't know how much the rest of the season we're really going to see him. Anyway, Reed Sheppard. I think Rockets fans are feeling very vindicated after their comeback win versus the Magic, where Sheppard was the heart of that comeback, because they've been yelling at Udoka for a while now for many things, but also to just play Sheppard more as they try to figure out their half-court offense. And in that comeback versus the Magic, where Sheppard made a whole bunch of threes, including one super deep one, the 2 plays that I remember the most was a screen with Şengün where Sheppard dropped off this perfect pocket pass around the 3-point line to hit Şengün in stride, which became a KD 3. And then another time, he froze Mo Wagner with a crossover because Wagner was a little higher up on the screen action, gets by him, and then throws a perfect kick out to Jabari on the wing. It was like a picture-perfect screen and roll into a drive and kick sort of thing. And none of that's surprising. He gives them another option as a shooter, as well as a ball handler and a playmaker. Even in that game, they still had some KD struggle possessions late. Just please, Kevin, go do something. But they win the game. And, you know, for the season overall, the defensive rating with Sheppard in the game is like 109, which is still a great number. And I think Udoka's just going to have to live with the fact that teams are going to try to go at him on defense. I mean, he has played over 30 minutes the last 2 games, so perhaps it's a sign of Udoka just being like, all right, man, it's going to be you. Especially as Dorian Finney-Smith just apparently lost his shooting skills entirely. The Lakers won the LaRavia Finney-Smith thing, but this isn't about that. Yeah, if Sheppard was on a different team, we could see him leading an offense more often, but it's just more of a balancing act because of where he ended up. Next up, my guy, Stephon Castle. The defense that Castle played on Cade in that game from a few days ago, unbelievable. Picking him up full court, staying glued to him off the ball at all times. And Cade was able to create separation sometimes from Castle. It felt like it really had to be off of screens. But even then, Castle still remained close enough to where Cade wasn't really able to relax. And of course, Wemby waiting for him at the rim is a huge deal of all of this as well. But Castle was huge. But we all know how good Castle is on defense. He established that early. As far as the offense, I mean, overall, it is an improvement on last season. The scoring-wise, mostly because he got better from mid-range and from floater range. And I mean, you will see the plays where he's pulling off driving kicks to shooters, getting into the middle. But the turnovers have also gone up as the playmaking responsibilities have gone up and as the Spurs are trying to develop him. While, I mean, they're still winning a lot of games, of course. But I've said it in a previous vid already, like, he's not a three-point shooter. And so sometimes as he is driving into space that is sometimes given to him, sometimes he will make teams look very stupid because he is a good athletic guard. And other times, let's say if teams are still able to clog the paint a bit as he's driving in there, it can be a bit awkward. He can pick it up. He can be, where do I go with this? And yet, whenever I watch him, I just love him. I love his energy. I know in the playoffs that dude is going to have multiple big moments, whether it's like a huge rebound on somebody, a lockdown possession, a lockdown quarter against a star player, or whatever. Before we talk some more of the 24 draft, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. So the most underrated seat for an NBA game is probably the front row of the upper deck. Nobody's in front of you, especially if you can manage to find it on the side, because then you get like the perfect angle of the court as well. An underrated seat that is probably going to be cheaper than anything below it, I would imagine. But it's also possible that everybody knows this, and therefore maybe it's not as big of a secret. I don't know. But if I wanted to go to any NBA game or concert or sporting event or festival or so many things, then I would use SeatGeek, as I have before, and it's always been good. And you can use my code FunkyDiabetic10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. SeatGeek rates deals on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Just look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Every ticket is backed by the buyer guarantee. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There's over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. FunkyDiabetic10. Click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account. Next up, Ron Holland. Just take everything I just said about Castle's defense, apply it to Holland, and apply like way worse stuff on offense. Like Holland's offense has gotten worse, and he continues to just be a dog who establishes the Pistons culture. That's about it. Tijon Salon. I think he's an NBA player. Was looking rough the rookie season. Now Donovan Clingan. So the Blazers are making it pretty clear here, man. They really view him as like you can be a three-point shooter and you can space the floor out. I mean, the amount of possessions where he is in the corner, like he will default to just spacing out in the corner. It is pretty noticeable. They do sometimes get him into like some passing hub stuff at the top of the key where he's pulled off some nice bounce passes here and there to cutters, but it's not as if this is an every possession thing for the Blazers. And he's doing shades of that stuff, more so the threes, while still being an insane offensive rebounder or rebounder in general. And the stretch that he is currently on as a three-point shooter, where the release, like there's still a bit of a wind-up there, but you can tell he's getting more comfortable. And there's been teams who are like really looking to close out on him. Like teams have not just been like, hey man, go ahead on all of these three-point attempts, right? Even though typically with centers, like even if you're good from three, they got to help off of somebody, right? So that's cool. The offense is offensing. He's also just playing more minutes this year, and that's nice. And then the defense, I mean, we know what it is. He protects the basket. He is definitely preferring to just be in a drop, and he can close out on a shooter or a pull-up shooter, but he's got to kind of gear himself up for it. But he can typically get an arm up on like an Anthony Edwards pulling up on him or whatever. But to use Gobert as the gauge again for rim protectors, his defensive field goal percentage at the rim, it's very close to Gobert. When he contests, it's like he's trying to time the contest perfectly, more so than just put both of his arms up in the air and hope for the good result. And going through a bunch of his contests, my favorite one recently was his presence alone underneath the basket made Filipowski just pass out of what otherwise would have been a layup. And then he got back to block Cody Williams driving at the rim. It's like, yeah, man, he's huge. And similar to Alex Sarr with the Wizards, the Blazers as a whole team are not in position yet to be a great defensive team. But I think Clingan can be the centerpiece of a good defense. But between him, Kamara, Thibault, Time Lord off the bench, and what Drew can still provide for you, even if he's not going to like shut down an opposing star or whatever, I feel like they could be a good defense maybe next season. Dillingham, he's small and he's not making threes. That's not going to work. Zach Edey. So Edey played 11 games this year and had some of the most ridiculous advanced stats you could imagine. Like they were like plus 18 in his minutes. Defensive field goal percentage at the rim of 44. They had a team rebound percentage defensive rebound percentage of 79 when he was in the game, which would be by far #1 if a team did that for a whole season. Look, all of those numbers would have normalized if he played more games, and we should be concerned about a guy his size having lower body injuries. But you can't mistake the fact that the impact numbers were pretty ridiculous for a short moment there. I mean, the Kings game, he made Maxime Reynaud and Eubanks look so small. It was crazy. Against the Spurs, unfortunately, Wemby was out of this one, but so many possessions of just hook shot after hook shot after hook shot over Luke Cornett in the post. There was a Pelicans game in there where he was just beating switches, like scoring on Sadiq Bey in the post, or McGowan's, or catching lobs. Like, we've seen the vision with Edey. I don't know, he played 11 games this year. I guess it's possible we could see him again this year, but I don't know. And also, the team has just totally changed from the time they drafted him to when he's going to be playing again. Cody Williams. Early on, it was fair to question if he was an NBA player at all. Now, I think at the least, he is a rotation guy. Don't know about the three ball. Next up, Modis. So the Bulls' mentality with Buzelis' development has been threes, shots at the rim, and we are okay with you spotting up in the corner to the point where sometimes Bulls fans get kind of mad because this guy clearly has the highest upside on the team, but we need Vooch and Kobe White and Giddey to do their stuff on offense. Of course, Kobe White and Vooch are gone now. It has resulted in Buzelis having nearly a 60 true shooting in his second season. So from their perspective, I get it, but also at a certain point, the training wheels are going to have to get taken off for Buzelis, and the efficiency is probably going to dip down some. And to be clear, he does need to still improve as a ball handler, a playmaker, because he's got basically a neutral assisted turnover stuff, and he's got to get stronger. But the game he just had against the Hornets, that's the vision. Drives at Con multiple times, creating separation, beats Josh Green in a 1v1, and then has this like double clutch layup at the rim, the step back three over Grant Williams. I mean, even in his rookie season, you would just see these drives where he would just have such confidence and physicality in this thin frame and putting moves together, and you're just like, man, there is a ceiling here with him that you can't say about a lot of guys in this draft. Will he hit that ceiling? I don't know. Now, besides all that, 1.5 blocks a game in year 2 is crazy. So yeah, there's Matas. Oh yeah, the last thing I'll say, I think the Bulls could run more actions with him using a pin down or a down screen coming out of the corner to catch the ball on the move, because if they don't want to just hand him the whole offense and just run screens and ISOs from the top of the key all day, that could be a nice middle ground. Nikola Topic, just some unbelievably bad luck to start his NBA career, but he's on the court now. Let's just hope we can see him for an extended period of time. Okay, now we're going to jump quite a few spots, and we'll stay with AJ Mitchell with OKC. The way that he can create for himself, like the way he uses pump fakes and quick jab steps, and sometimes picking the ball up at the free throw line and then not having to pass it back out, but instead like a pump fake or two, and then his defender's off balance, and he does like this big scooping layup, and he's listed at 190. It feels like he's like 200 pounds, the way that he's just able to get the angle on guys and just kind of shove them out of the way a little bit. Like there is something really here with AJ Mitchell as a shot creator. And the two biggest things might be how he can keep his dribble alive, and he's been kind of amazing from floater range, like fadeaways in the paint, floaters. And for right now, he's on one of the best contracts in the league. But in a couple years here, this is going to be really interesting with how OKC keeps him, because you've got SGA, Chet, and J-Dub on maxes. You've got not much time left on Hartenstein's contract. You've got Case and Wallace's extension coming. Like, there's some decisions that need to be made here. But I'm going to assume they're like, no, we need to hold on to this guy. Keyshawn George. Keyshawn, to me, in an ideal spot, would not be creating as much as the Wizards have asked him to create. There's clear playmaking potential signs there with him. Like, there is enough drives and tough jumpers and creating separation and making plays to where you're like, there's something here with Keyshawn. And Keyshawn being able to attack off the catch and being able to attack a shifted defense more should be great, assuming that Trey doesn't hog the ball too much. I mean, the assist number is going to be up there regardless, but I'm getting my assists, and we're all touching the ball and the thing's moving around. You get it. Keyshawn's also been 41% from 3 on catch and shoots. That's really good. I like Keyshawn. And, the thing with him and Sarr is to continue to get better in their second seasons, even as the Wizards have been the Wizards. Like, that's really good. Cam Spencer, one of the best shooters in the league, off of everything, off the catch, off the dribble, mid-range is great. Efficient playmaker, also a maniac. Devin Carter, I don't know, man, he plays hard. Bub Carrington, so every single prospect has strengths and weaknesses. And sometimes you have one weakness that's just so rough that it just becomes the story of your game, and for Bub, he just does not put pressure on the basket. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't mean he can't have a career. I mean, his 3 ball has been better this season, and I think he's had good stretches. Like, there was a specific stretch there that was good, but it looks like he is meant to be more of a backup on a team with more structure and veterans than the Wizards, which they're going for next year. Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware is an interesting one, right? Big picture, we get it. In theory, he's a big guy who can, on one end, protect the basket, block shots, get rebounds, and then also make threes and catch lobs on the other end. But it pretty much comes down to this. How much does Spo really want to play him and Bam together? Earlier in the season, he was willing to experiment with it a lot. It's tapered off as the year has gone on. They had a recent game against the Pelicans where they both started, and a couple plays early in that game, it was like Bam kick out in the post to Khalil Ware for a corner 3. On the other end, Bam and Ware were in the paint, and they were too big, and it made Derek Queen turn the ball over. That's cool. The last game they played against Philly, those two played less than 1 minute together, and if Spo doesn't commit to those two together, regardless of what it might mean for the results that night, then Khalil Ware is just going to be a backup big guy, and that's it. And I understand the questions about his motor and his defense and all that. So whether you want to blame Spo or you want to blame Khalil Ware more, it just is how it is. Although, as I'm making this video, I saw a tweet of somebody saying that Bam and Ware played more in this game against Houston that I haven't seen yet. There you go. Jared McCain. Feels like a win for OKC so far this trade. He was just great against the Nuggets. I mean, the 3 and the pull-up 2 that he had in the fourth, that kind of encapsulates it, right? Shea gets doubled, McCain 3, and then they run a double screen action for him before that one, where he gets a pull-up 2 with Jokic dropping, which was actually the exact play before the Lou Dort Jokic thing went down. And beyond those 2 plays, just being able to see McCain attack off the catch versus like a rotating defense or receive skip passes or be involved in DHOs or just moving off the ball and having more of his baskets assisted early on with OKC than it was in Philly. We got some quick ones coming up. Dalton Connect, I don't think he or the Lakers want to keep this relationship up. Tristan Da Silva, I like Da Silva. Every team could use him. Jacoby Walter can make threes and guard on the ball. Every team could use him. Questions otherwise, but okay. Jalen Tyson, honestly, somewhere on the role player all-star list this year. I think Tyson filled a need for Cleveland that if they weren't desperately looking for, then they were really, really hoping somebody would emerge as it, just somebody who could guard tough matchups, make threes at a really high clip, and still give you something like off the catch. He's screened for Harden some. I talked about that in the Harden trade video so far. Yves Missi, I don't know. He's kind of lost aura this year. He's just kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of Derek Queen emerging, but then tapering off, and now DeAndre Jordan has started games lately for them. What the hell is going on there? Missi is a rotation big guy. Shout out AJ Johnson and Deron Holmes. Okay, shout out Dadier, Dylan Jones, Terrence Shannon. Ryan Dunn's a rotation player, good defender. Isaiah Collier, 22 assists in one game. I think Isaiah Collier's true calling was to average like 9 assists a game from 1986 to like 1995. But he was born in the mid-2000s, so he's got to make it work without a 3-ball. Baylor Shireman, been starting for the Celtics for a little bit now. Missoula loves him. He plays really hard. He makes threes, and he never makes mistakes. He can be a bit streaky, though. Filipowski, skilled big guy. I do just wonder now between Kessler and the new contract he's about to get, Jaren, and now Markkanen, will Filipowski be on the Jazz in a couple seasons? I mean, I do think you can slot him in to whenever you take one of those bigs out and it works. But also, we're just talking contract stuff here. Would he want more of an opportunity somewhere else? I don't know. Dennis Jenkins, he's had some pretty big moments this year overall. Just some nice extra ball handling for the Pistons. Jalen Wells, did he peak as a rookie? I don't know, man. The Grizzlies have just been so in flux for a minute now that I feel like somebody like Wells could potentially get lost in the shuffle there. He was a solid 3-and-D guy for a good chunk of his rookie season. Iguodaro, plus-minus god. Adem Bona, blocks merchant, not a bad thing. Pella Larson, going to be on the Heat for 15 years. Jamal Shed, love the defense. Efficiency is what it is. Quentin Post, he's fine. Bronny, I don't know.